This is one of my most favorite places in the trial gardens here at the Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. This is just hydrangea heaven. And this is a mass planting of 4 hydrangeas. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at them. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and man, when we get to visit this garden is number one, just an honor to be able to be here and to be able to show you all these gorgeous plants that are on display here. This is a private garden, and it's just so well laid out and just so many varieties. And this area here really showcases, I think, 4 of probably the best hydrangeas that are currently on the market. So let's break it down and take a look. We're just going to first just walk through the garden so you can see the full scope of what we're seeing here. The first plants we're going to show you is bordering the front edge here. This is the Let's Dance Skyview hydrangea, and you can just see how nice and compact they are. They have a nice dense habit, nicely rounded, and just loaded with blooms. The nice thing is here is it's fall, and we are still seeing these plants kicking out new blooms. A lot of what you're seeing, they're dried, but you can see here, gorgeous blue. This is a fresh new bloom that has just emerged. So as we walk through, you're going to see little pokes of blue, and those are all some of the new blooms that are getting put out. Now, buds, it's still putting out buds as well. I mean, that's crazy to be in October and for a plant in Michigan to still be putting on buds and flowers. Behind the Let's Dance Skyview is the Little Lime Punch hydrangeas. These are panicle hydrangea, and they are just gorgeous as well. They're a little bit taller, so you can see how they're going to be kind of a step up behind there. They'll probably get about 5 foot tall when they're mature, but they go totally to nice magenta here in West Michigan. As we take a look in at the center of the bed, we have the Let's Dance Can Do hydrangeas. These are the big leaf hydrangeas or the macrophylla hydrangeas. And this is just a massive hedge of them as well. One thing to point out with these is when these were blooming earlier in the season, all the blooms are down here and in the foliage. Since then, it's put up new growth and new flowers. So essentially what it's done is it's buried its dead and has the fresh new blooms on top. You can see there's a variation of color here with the Let's Dance Can Do. There's some shades of pink, some shades of purple, more of a lacy flower form, but we'll go into more details as we continue through this video when we dig deeper into each of these varieties that we are looking at here in this garden today. We're just going to continue the circle to show you that no matter where we're at in this garden, it is just covered with gorgeous, gorgeous hydrangea blooms. As we make our way towards the entrance of this garden, we're going to take a look at the Let's Dance ARRIBA hydrangeas. So let's head over and check those out a minute. Let's Dance ARRIBA is still also putting on a lot of blooms, and you're seeing here some fresh blooms, some spent blooms, in various shades from pink to purple as well. The nice thing with ARRIBA is it has gorgeous fall foliage. So let's go ahead and break these hydrangeas down, get more details on them, and just take a closer look. Some plants really pack a punch in the garden, and that is so true of the Little Lime Punch hydrangea. This is a panicle hydrangea, or what we call a hardy hydrangea. It blooms off of the new growth. So if you're somebody who has a trouble getting your hydrangeas to bloom year after year, this one should be no problem because it sets its buds in the spring. Little Lime Punch is hardy in zones 3 to 9. So for those of you even in the coolest of climates, this is a shrub that can be grown in your area. It gets 3 to 5 foot tall and 3 to 5 foot wide. The blooms start off as a gorgeous white, and as they start to transition, they take on a little bit of a blush pink, and in the end, turn a magenta color that is just unbelievable. Now, I should say this is true for those of us in Michigan. We're a zone 6A, and for those of you in the cooler climates, it does take a cool night for these plants to transition into this gorgeous magenta color. So for those of you who are more our southern friends, you may not experience this gorgeous color that we here in the north get to experience. Even so, when these things are in their full blooming prime in the summer, they're a gorgeous plant to have. If you're looking for reliable and easy to grow, Little Lime Punch is the perfect hydrangea. Let's Dance Can Do, a little taller than the others we've seen so far, is hardy in zones 4 to 9 and gets about 4 foot tall and 4 foot wide. It is the fastest to put on its rebloom. It's also a very strong rebloomer. It provides a continuous display of color from summer into the fall. The flowers are a little bit more of a lace cap flower form, which is actually good for the pollinators. With having not so many of the florets available, making a deep, dense bloom, it's leaving that center open for the pollinator bees, such as what we're seeing here today. Let's Dance Can Do can be planted in full sun to part shade locations. And as mentioned, it blooms off of the new and old growth. So you may be wondering, when is the best time to trim it? The honest answer is never. But if you do feel like you need to trim it because it is getting too big for your space, we would recommend trimming it after its first bloom cycle. Can Do hydrangea is so pretty. And look at that. The mauve flowers, the purple centers. This plant just takes on so many different arrays of colors, from pinks to blues. Let's Dance Can Do hydrangea is a real proven winner. Hydrangea Let's Dance Skyview. It's been on the market for a couple years, but really it didn't have a lot of attention. Well, that is until now. Let's Dance Skyview is probably one of the best of the Let's Dance series hydrangeas on the market today. It blooms both off of new and old growth and is hardy in zones 4 to 9. Once the first set of blooms start to show, it's quickly ready to put up its next round of flowers as well. It gets 2 to 3 foot tall and 2 to 4 foot wide. It produces gorgeous pink or purple blooms depending on your soil type. We love this plant because even here in the fall, you can see how all of the spent blooms have such a deep, rich coloration to them, even though they essentially were in their prime months ago. Now we are having an exceptionally warm fall this year, and you can see how Skyview is continually pushing out more blooms. That is one thing I just love about this plant. It's very hardworking and just is one of those that just really wants to shine in the garden. The other nice thing is not only does it have these gorgeous blooms, it also is getting little splashes of burgundy on its foliage. So it's got gorgeous summer into fall flowers and nice fall foliage as well. We are really impressed with this hedge of the Let's Dance Skyview. And certainly this is going to be something we're going to be planting in our gardens at Garden Crossings because the proof is right here in front of us. It is a gorgeous addition to the garden. Let's Dance ARRIBA is known as a hardy hydrangea, or also known as a macrophylla hydrangea. It likes to be grown in full sun to part sun locations. It gets 3 foot tall and wide at maturity, and these plants here are very mature specimens. I would say they're almost even reaching heights of 3.5 to 4 foot tall. The color of the blooms can vary anywhere from pink to blue, depending on the type of soil that you're planting them in. Now here, we're seeing a lot of variation of both pink and blue all on the same plant, which I think is kind of a unique look. And the other thing is, now that it's fall, another thing that stands out to me with this ARRIBA is, of all the hydrangeas that we've seen today, this one has the most gorgeous fall foliage on it. So in the summer, it's nice bright green, and now that it's fall and things are cooling off a little bit, we're seeing shades of burgundy and kind of some coppery orange and yellow and just a lot of fantastic fall colors in the foliage as well. So this plant usually will start blooming somewhere around June or so here in Michigan. It is a repeat bloomer. Anything in that Let's Dance series is repeat blooming, so meaning it blooms both off of the new growth and off of the old growth. So with Let's Dance ARRIBA, really we don't recommend trimming it at all, unless if it seems like it's just too big for your area and you have to do a trim. Well, then we would recommend doing so after its first bloom cycle. But please note that you would then sacrifice potentially or delay blooms later on in the season. These blooms are really large, vivid, bold colors, and just a great plant and very reliable in the garden. Thank you for walking through this gorgeous garden with me today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And if you're new to our channel, I welcome you to subscribe. We're going to also be putting links down in the description. If there was any of these plants that were of interest to you, you can head to our website, gardencrossings.com, and we can ship them directly to your door. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.